great day, Ghana. Wow, Philly. Wow, it's so great to have you guys. So we're going to deal with this little bubble right here. And we're not worried about too much about getting it too perfect. This bride is not wanting to break the bank. This first little project I'm doing, I have like 4 dresses to work on right now. So this first project, we're lifting the lace off, but she's letting us just basically just kind of tab it in instead of taking it apart. It's a beautiful Jenny U. Ah, there's one. That's what I thought. I had that bubble on that other side. That's what we're doing. My notes just said, for those of you who are just now joining, my notes just said that I've got a dart that I need to do on this side. And the pin, of course, is missing. So that's all we need to do is just lift this up and put a little dart here. And so this is actually a really good way to do this alteration, guys. It is like, you know, a shortcut, financially speaking, for the bride, that we're not going up in here and changing all these layers separately. It's good for that, but it's also really good for reversing it. If anybody else ever wants to wear this dress, they can just pick the lace back open and let this little tab out. I always call them tabs when it's just like a dart that we've just sewn clear through, and they would sew the lace back down. So a lot of times sewing like this could actually be a little bit less destructive than really kind of taking apart in a lot of different places. So yeah, I'm just gonna sew this little dart real quick, lift this up. I do still prefer to lift the lace rather than sew through it whenever their budget will allow. It just looks a lot better. But as you guys know, every seamstress has a different way of running their business. Some refuse to do shortcuts because they're like, my name is on this. And I get it. I have had people go with all the cheapest stuff and then later regret it and go to somebody else and act like it was my best work. And that does not feel good when they do that. But I've waited out for many years, and I just really like giving them options. Because not every bride wants to spend their money that way, and that's fine. So you do you, boo. However you want to do your business, you do your business. But that's what I do. So basically, I just want this little pucker out of here. So I'm going to sew that real quick, and then I'm going to get back to looking at the comments. I'm literally just sewing through this. Again, not really the textbook way, but this is not my dress. This is my bride's dress, and this is what she wants. So that is what we are doing. I hope you can understand that. I feel like statistically, I feel like most of you guys have that approach. Like when I talk to different sewists about whether or not they'll take shortcuts, I feel like most of you do. Alright, so now when we do this, we can tell, yes, that bubble is fixed, because look how flat that's laying. That's lovely. But we've kind of transferred the bubble here. So let's just open this up, kind of like in an organic kind of shape here. Okay, and see how that's going to lay. Yes, lovely. Oh my goodness, that's so much better. So basically, with her not wanting to break the bank, we're probably also, I may have said hand stitched earlier, but we probably are not going to hand stitch this down. We're probably going to free motion right through all of this after we have verified that this lays right on her. As you guys know, just because it lays right on a table, on your lap, on a tailor's ham, does not mean it's going to lay right on the bride. So Everybody does it different. Some people like to sew their lace down before their bride tries on the dress, just so they don't scare the bride. I haven't really had a problem with that. I basically just tell the bride, like, hey, your dress looks like this and that right now, and that's okay. That's where we're at right now. It'll be better. You know, just tell them that. And everybody seems to understand. So that's cool. So you can kind of handle that how you want. But I really prefer a fitting with the lace loose or pinned down. I'm actually more likely to use safety pins and not these straight pins. One of my lace pickers put the straight pins on. But that's okay. It's not like we're putting this in storage and she's going to scratch another dress. This dress is going to hang ready until the bride comes. It's not going to get filed away. So I'm fine with that. But I'm going to do this on both sides because I can tell both sides really need it. A lot of times where a dart terminates, you do get that, see that little bubble. So if the angle of the strap is already not right and you've got a dart terminating there, it's pretty sure that you're going to have to do this alteration. So yeah, once she tries it on, if it's right, we're going to probably just free motion right through that lace. And so her appointment today is probably going to be marking the hem and possibly picking a bustle, depending on how long the hem is on her. If she can walk in the dress, if it's not so long that she can't walk, we'll go ahead and pin her bustle. Wow. Bumpy stuff. Now, I just said something about this being easily reversed, but I'm cutting through the lace. It's still easily reversed. You can sew that lace right back together. It's gonna be just fine, especially with the way that I'm going along the edges of the lace there. Yes, that's what we want. Here we go. We're almost done with our first little adjustment of the live stream. Thank you guys for joining me. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to pop back up to the back side of my phone and see your comments and address them. This will just be a good time for us to visit every Thursday from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will try to give you guys a heads up if I'm not able to attend, or I may even try to schedule something to come up in place of it. Did you guys see that we're offering channel memberships now? I was super excited about that. I just opened those up this week. And we get custom emojis, and you'll also get extra live sessions with me. So that'll be fun if you're a channel member. All right, that one is zipped up and I'm putting her away. Let me cut this air down. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, let me look at the chats here. Oh my goodness. Angie T. I have not been reading the news the last little bit. I did not know she died. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. I just read in the news that people were coming to visit her and that she was resting in bed, but I did not have the update. Please tell me, Angie, if I am misunderstanding what you're saying, but I think that's clearly what you're saying, that she just passed. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see what else. If lace is busy enough, I will take the dart on the outside for a clean lining look. Yes, Stacy, I've done that too. I think that's a great way to hide your tracks. Lift the lace, put the darts on the outside, and then put them back down. Absolutely. Angie, hi from Mississippi. I'm so glad I've helped you. Oh, Angie T, yes, such a sad day from Huxley. Okay. Oh my goodness. Today is a day in history, isn't it? Oh my goodness. That's so sad. All right, Deborah, help please. I have a corset back dress that needs to grow in the waist. I've created a new modesty panel, but I think I need tips. Also, I need to have a longer tie. How to make that. Okay, Deborah. So to grow the waist a little bit, just because it's a corset back does not mean that you still can't work at the side seams. In fact, a lot of times when I have a corset back, I still do work at the side seams. So I'll still take it in, let it out, because, you know, we want that nice, pretty V in the back. And obviously, if they're a little thicker waisted or smaller busted, we're getting this kind of shape. So I would do the opposite on the side seams, like let the waist out a little bit and maybe take in the top of the bodice to where we can get back to that pretty V. So don't be afraid to work on the side seams. It's definitely a really nasty rumor that if you have a corset gown that it doesn't need to be altered. I don't know who started that. Sounds like probably bridal salons trying to move dresses probably started that, right? Okay, so um a longer tie, how to make that. Deborah, it depends on the budget of your customer. Some of them I literally just use like a double-sided satin ribbon, 3/4 inch wide. This is obviously going to be the cheapest version, and color match is really going to matter. If you want that thicker kind that's actually sewn out of the shell fabric of the dress, it takes a lot of fabric to make those. They are cut on the bias. So making that is going to be pretty pricey in fabric expense. But basically, like I said, it's cut on the bias. So let's see if this pen works. You know, if I have a pen that doesn't work, I chuck it in the trash immediately. I hate pens that don't work, but sometimes they still hang around. And I haven't used this for a while. So, oh, good, it works. You're going to have your fabric. You're going to cut it on the 45 for your bias. I would cut it at least 3 times the width that you want it to be, because it's going to double over and you've got your seam allowances. And then I would do an iron-on interfacing after I cut the strip out on the inside, a nice stiff interfacing that is going to help it not stretch so much. And I would kind of like cut that on the grain and put that in there if it's kind that's like a fusible fabric idea. I'd put that in there just so it's not quite so stretchy. A lot of times when you see people make these ties, they'll just cut it on the bias and sew it together and press it and put it in there. And there's nothing to kind of keep it from stretching too much. And so that straight stitch that's holding the seam together just ends up popping. So you do want to limit the amount of stretch. It also makes it more effective for lacing up too if it's not stretchy. Disclaimer, there are lots of corset making, like true corset making groups online. I'm assuming you're just talking about a mass manufactured wedding gown that has the corset style and we're just altering it as a wedding gown. If you're looking for something that is like historically accurate, period specific, whatever, I'm probably not the right person. You probably want to ask, you know, more of like a corset making group on Facebook or something. So there's that. Barb, hey, I'm so glad to have you on the live stream. And bridal sewing attempts. You know, I love that channel name. That's awesome. I'm starting my own bridal alterations business, and it all started with me working at David's and watching your videos. Thank you so much. You've literally changed my life. Thank you. That's what I do it for. Barb, in the comment above you, she'll tell you the same thing. She actually came for a retreat. Was it last year, Barb? I think you said it was just a year. We just rolled over a year or something. Maybe it's been 2 years. I don't know. You just messaged me the other day. But Barb came for a couple of weeks and stayed. And we had a great time. And her business is booming. It's super exciting to watch her business grow. So I love that part about what I do. So let me just look and see what my next dress is, and we'll work on that. Let's see. This one needs some push-up pads sewn in. It needs to be hemmed. We need to finish off the back, add a waistband. Let's see. All right. So I've got the belt fabric here. All right. Push-up pads, finish off the back. Can you guys hear me okay when I step away? I'm literally like 3 feet away, but I just didn't know if I was like casting my voice enough or not. So this is what I've got to sew on the waist of the dress. Now when it says finish off the back, what happened was I had to shorten this gown at the waist. So I've already lifted this off and, put it back together and everything. So we're going to sew this back on, but this is still kind of a mess back here because what I do is I shorten it and then just get them to try it on without sinking a lot of time into making this look neat. I just want it to close up right. And then if it's right, the fit is good and everything, then we'll go ahead and proceed with trimming it back out and finishing off the back and all that. So we have that to do on this dress today. And also an itty bitty hem. Isn't that an itty bitty hem? So we'll work on that together. And kind of scared I'm going to lose this set screw over here at my singer. Let me look at the comments real quick. Let's see. Okay, Stacy, that is a great idea. She says, I'm going to add your live stream on my calendar like a fitting appointment. That's pretty much what I did to my calendar. That's the only way that this is going to work, right? So, let's see. Let's see. I'm going to add this to your live stream calendar like a fitting appointment. And I was thinking, guys, you could just be sewing. Like, if you guys schedule it every Thursday, 2 to 3, you could be sewing. And that's why I did this. I titled this hashtag sew with me. That way you can be listening and you can just look up, when you get a break to look up. Okay, so Barb, it was 2 years ago. Nice. Miss you. Okay, Deborah, thank you. I just looked inside and there's a lot of room at the waist. Yay! My customer is getting married Saturday. Oi! And just received her dress. So it's a hurry and fix me dress. Thank you. You're welcome, Deborah. Hi, Top Cat Tiger, watching again. Cannot wait. Oh, yeah, I remember your name last time. Love doing my weddings in the UK. Thanks for your help. And my sincerest condolences. It's so sad about the Queen, Top Cat. Tammy, thank you so much for taking the fear out of bridal sewing. Yes, take the fear out of bridal sewing. That's what I want to hear. I've been sewing for 25 plus years, but never have the confidence. You've been such a huge blessing. Thank you so much. Okay, so you can hear me. Irene! Okay, guys, remember how I've been talking about memberships? She's got that the bestie icon by her name. See, it's got my pretty singer sewing machine, and then it says welcome to the alterations. That's so cool. Irene, it's so great to have you. So I was wondering how this was gonna look different, and it really does. She's in green, and I don't know if it's like a different color per level. I'm not sure. But some of them are super cheap, guys. They're like, I made the cheapest one. I think it's like $1.99 a month. So it doesn't cost much at all. But like if a lot of you do it, it could really support my channel, you know? And then of course you get that cool little thing by your name, and you also get custom emojis. I don't know if you guys saw that, but you get a monstera leaf, and of course you get a monstera leaf. I'm trying to think what else. It's like a heart with shears, and then a heart with needle and thread. Oh, and then lace. Yeah, you get lace too. Mabel, awesome. Bless me a lot with your videos. Nice. Yes, boost that alterations business, girl. All right, so I'm going to look at this and try to figure out what I need to do. You guys can go ahead and leave comments or questions if you want. And when I get to the stopping point on this, I'll hop back over and look and see what you're doing and respond. Actually, I think one of my lace pickers has already started kind of putting this back together because it's got this big hook and loop. When it comes to stuff on the inside of the dress, it's under a lot of stress. I don't go dainty. Can you guys see that? Wonder if I can pinch and zoom. No, I can't. Shoot. Oh, I see that, Irene. I'm listening and sewing. Just joined. Yes, that's what I was hoping you guys could do. All right, so let me see if you can see this. All right, so this is kind of like the wimpy hook and loop that comes with, right? Well, okay. It dropped off. I hope you guys are still there. Anyways, we'll use like a bigger hook, kind of like what we use for a bustle. And then we would have a strong loop that we do out of upholstery thread. All right. So one of my lace sewers put that on. So that's why that already looks so neat. They did a good job. Now, I do like to get after their work because I don't like this. Raise your hand if you know what's going to happen to this piece of fabric if I leave it. What's going to happen if I leave it right there? No? I just want to clean it up a little bit. It's kind of messy fuzz going on in here. Stacy, number 4 hooks only. Yeah, we can be pretty set in our ways for wanting strong hooks, can't we? All right, so what will happen is bubble can get caught in the zipper. We do not want that at all. So what we do, we're going to tunnel up through the layers. I'm just holding the dress back here to, oh my goodness, this is a slippery one, girls, to try to get these layers. Wow. Oh my. Oh goodness. I'm tunneling up. This is one of those things people ask me, can you teach me how to tunnel up through this? I'm like, you know, I have a lot of teaching experience. I don't know that I could teach that because it's different. Anyways, I tunneled up through, so my hand is between the lining and then all the other layers. And I'm going to grab this right jaw, pull it through. Isn't that funny? Like it looks straight and oh, and then you can see that bubble. Well, well. Open this up and just tug over just a little bit. That's the easiest way I have found to open up seams. put a snip every few threads. Now, this is it. And I'm going to pull this over. Yeah. This is going to be sewn on the very edge. All right, let me switch this out. Because I'm going to get a little closer than this one can allow me to. Remember I had that rapid release one, the spring. That spring got worn out, so I'm back to my screwdriver. And honestly, as the springs went out, I was like, this is so dangerous. I felt like the foot could like pop out to the side under the pressure of the fabric, and the needle could have struck the foot and of course sent a piece of needle up at my eye. That could be devastating. All right, so I'm gonna throw this down on the very edge. It's so funny. I've always called it like the very edge. And I don't usually say that. I don't know if you guys say that, but I don't know how to hear it. And then I met him one time and he said the very edge. And I was like, oh, where are you? It just popped out at me. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't hear you say that. Where are you from? And he was from where I was born. So it must just be like a hyper local thing. So if you're wondering what in the world am I doing when I say the very edge, learned it on us. Oh, that's a lot better. It's not jumping out now. That's good. All right. So bust pads and then sew the belt on and then hem. So to keep this side from sliding away, I'm going to do that right there. Oh, isn't that better? She can't get away. That's so nice. I kind of need something else to hook to over here. But she can't fall over. All right. I did have a note tighten it at the side seam last time, the time before, and I didn't do it. I can tell I didn't do it. And then there was no note this time to tighten it. Uh-oh. She might have a little weight. Was like that time or something. So who knows if it's going to fit well this time. We'll see. All right. Make sure you can see. This is not going to be anything fancy. This is not going to be fancy. You guys take a second and click that like button for me, please. Just hit that little like button there, and that will help YouTube to send this out to people. Let me look at the chats. Let's see. Angie, I'm full ball gown. Oh, gross. Aren't they just miserable? They're hard work. I see. Oops, wait. Fade so quick. I see you don't have a lot of space behind your machine. How do you handle this? Do you hang from a hook? It's huge. Okay, Angie, yes, I do. I hang from a hook. I'm not opposed to like sliding this table like down to give me more room. I can also, truncate her and put the lid on this so that it's smooth, and I just stretch this way. Also, if I was alone and was not live streaming right now, I wouldn't be doing this on my sewing machine table. I just did that just because my camera was set up and it's quieter here. I would throw this over the cutting table. Dream goal, guys. If I had my druthers, I wouldn't have my machine against a wall. And it seems like every spot on my sewing machine to film at for you guys on any of my YouTube videos, always like up against a window or a wall or something right here. I do really like the window light. But ideally, I would just have another table kind of the same size on the other side of this. I love that. When I watch other sewists work and they're sewing here and the gown is pushed out this way, I just think that's so awesome. For some reason, I've never done that setup for myself. At least not for video. I did have it at one point in one of my studios. Machines. I had several machines set up, kind of like it was almost like a big dining room table. That's pretty handy, you know, at that size table. Um, and I had another table, a little back that you could put up. That was nice. Yeah, none of them that we've had for filming has ever had that. So yeah, maybe someday I'll do that. But yeah, I just had them, and then like I said, sew this on my cutting table because my cutting table's big, and I usually just use this. I reserve this for sewing on the machine. I find that my hip hurts the more I sit in a chair at the table. So I actually prefer to stand at the cutting table to sew. So that's typically what I would do. What's going on? Yeah, machine table in the middle of the room. Stacy, I feel like that is actually a lot more common. Like when I see sewing rooms, that's what I see. Like most people have like their storage along the walls. That's normal. But then they would have like their sewing area like a big island table situation. And I just didn't do that. Oh, Stacy, girl. Girl. Yes, I'm a bridal seamstress. No, I won't hem your pants. Guys, this is one of my merch pieces, and Stacy has this and she did a TikTok about it. So I just wanted to show it to her. I have it here too. I think this is like my favorite piece of merch personally. I think my best-selling thing is actually the vinyl sticker you can put on the back of your car. It says I'm a bridal seamstress. If I could only, deserted island situation, only have one type of merch, one piece of merch, what would I pick? I'd pick that. So there. Let's see. Isn't it sassy, Stacy? I love it. All right. So I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm supposed to sew this on. I am so nervous about that note. You guys tell me what you would do. So, here, let me silence that. How can I silence this? Okay, I'm back. So tell me, what would you do? I had a note to let it out an inch. Okay, on each side, I was going to let it out a total. I think it was a total of an inch. And can you guys hear me okay? So my previous note, 2 notes ago, said let it out. It's not let out. She had a try on. It fit her good enough for me to say, put the lace on. Close it up and put the lace back on. But I look back and I see that at one point I was supposed to change the fit. Part of me is like, you know what? I don't think this is her last appointment. Let me double check. Nope. She's got 2 more appointments. She's got the one I'm preparing for and then one more. I'll tell you what I would do. You tell me what you would do. Would you sew this on or would you wait until you knew it fit her and then sew it on? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to just pin it across the front so that she can see it when she puts her dress on, but I'm going to wait. So the other note that I have is she needs another set of bust pads. So these are already pretty stout, but she needs another set. All right, let me look at your comments real quick, and then I'm going to run and get a set of bust pads. I'm back. How would you guys put these in? How would you put these in? A lot of times when I'm doubling up, I bring it this way, especially when we've got a plunging neckline. I do not put them in like that. I put them in like this, so that what it's doing is it's kind of like pushing the side boob idea kind of toward the middle. That's how I do it. So you could tack them. Would you tack them in? What would you do? I'm going to show you how I would put these in. Well, it is how I am putting them in. All right. I'm going to line this up so that way I'm still getting the angle. And I'm going to machine sew the lower part of this push-up pad to that side flat piece. Okay. Sew that in, and then I'm going to do like a tailor's tack right there. That's really messy right there. I'm going to straighten that up. All right, and this doesn't have to be super strong, so I'm just using just the thread from my machine, just the regular. All right, so I'm going to come in like this. I cannot believe the queen just passed away. Like that, it was so quick. Like I just heard this morning that they were calling for family. And then here we are. I wonder what was wrong. Wonder if she had like a cardiac event or something. I'll have to see. I don't know if they're saying why. But man, she lived a long, full life, didn't she? She served her people for a long time. All right, so I'm going to go like this. Ooh. Just came right through. Here we go. I'm going to put like 3 knots in there. Guys, don't forget, for those of you who are far away, when I do my virtual retreat this fall, I'm specifically, like, purposely staggering the timing of the different things that we're doing. So a lot of it is going to be that you could do replays at any time. I think that's very important. But I'm also going to, like, for our Zoom chats, they're going to be smaller breakout sessions of like, with maybe like 5 people in them, in some of them. That's how I'm going to do that. And so I'm going to make sure the ones who are on the other side of the world and different time zones and all that, day and night and all that, I'm going to make sure that I schedule you guys kind of together-ish, timing-wise, so that way I don't want you to feel like you got to be up at like, 3 o'clock in the morning or something to attend these things. I'm going to make certain that it's doable for every time zone and area. All right, here we go, the side of the other one. Hopefully I'll do this one a little neater the first time. Do any of you ever machine sew your bust pads in? I do whenever I get a chance. Oh, that was so much neater this time. I love to machine sew my bust pads in when I get a chance. Here we go. What do you call this kind of tack? There's like 5 different names and nobody's wrong. You could just about start a barroom brawl with a bunch of sewists if you ask them what to name this tack, right? So many different opinions. And then because this is loose, if it, pulls up and ends up showing from the side through this mesh, I'm basically like when she has it on, I'm going to pin it and figure out how it needs to be to look good. So you can see I shortened this before and I put the matching caps on the bottom of the bones. So all she needs now, I think, is a bustle. So, woo, sorry. That's like practically an earthquake for you guys. All right, I'm going to look at the live chat here. Let me hang up this dress, and then I'll look at the live chat. Oh, so I'm not alone. You guys are going to wait. Yes. Let's see. Wait for sure. Wait. Yeah. It is so sad about the queen. It's sad. Classy lady, huh? It's funny. I know there's, people on both sides, people who like the idea of the monarchy, and then other people who are like, that's a big waste of money and, whatever. I know there's 2 different sides, but I feel like no matter what side you're on politically, as far as should there be a monarchy or not, and the finances of it and all that, I feel like either way, everyone could honestly say she gave her life. She gave her life to serve on the throne. That is for sure. Whether or not you agree she should have been there is a whole other story. But she did not live her own life. She lived her life for the people. So that, I feel like she deserves respect for that. Because she could have had her own ambitions, She could have wanted to be a bridal seamstress. And she wasn't allowed to because she had to serve the people, right? She chose to give her life instead. All right, let's see. Where is this other one? Wow. Okay, that's all for the machine. Let me see if there's another thing for the machine. Otherwise, we'll just have to go to the cutting table. Okay, yeah. We're going to go to the cutting table now because I do have another dress that I could do at the machine, but it's huge. And I don't want to drag it out and like give you guys an earthquake and everything with the tripod here. So let's look at this at the cutting table. And this will be really similar to what we did last week. Definitely not near as big of a job as last week. We did the footprint reduction, remember? Oh my goodness. You guys are going with me. That was a rough ride. All right, here we are back at the cutting table. Barb knows what we just ran through, don't you, Barb? She stayed in there. Spent a lot of time in there. All right, so I've hooked my dress. For those of you who were not here last week, I've shown this on other videos, but this is hooked to the underside of the table. We loop it up. We can hook it here or use the S-hook down there. I really want to screw just like a knob in there where I can even just hook it on a knob. But we have it like this. And we're just going to kind of do our thing where we mirror pin it. Let me look at comments real quick. V-Sund, I'm thankful that you share your knowledge with us in your videos. No problem. I love doing it. Anything to advance the trade. Benita, I feel like she did much to advance the image of women worldwide. You know what? That's really profound, Benita. It's true because now, well, not just now, but for a long time, it's been like, you know, sexism is still so alive. And I feel like there's so much pressure that if you are to be an influential or powerful woman, that you also need to be very like overt sexually and sexualize your image. And there's just so much pressure around that. And she was such a lady. She never tried to, you know, draw attention to herself in that way. She was just so classy. So yes, I agree with what you're saying. I feel like classy women in general elevate all women. Nothing against, you know, women that go the other direction as like entertainers and whatever. I understand, you know, they're out there. I'm not trying to, I hope that makes sense. I'm not trying to put off on anybody. But I feel like she definitely took the higher road as far as representing women for sure. All right, let's see. I'd love to hear advice on corset back too with loops, not grommets. You know what? You're right, V-Sund. I have not done a video on making the loops for the loop back corset. I need to do that. Jacqueline, what camera and tripod do you use for filming? Whew, that's a big question. Okay, so I have that question, and then I had somebody else ask a question earlier today about hemming platform, and I want to be able to talk about both of them real quick. So I'm going to get into this. Camera and tripod to use for filming. What I'm doing right now is my Samsung S22. It's their like current flagship. As you know, it's that time of year we're rolling over into different phone styles right now. But I have the S22 and I absolutely love that for filming. I love it for transferring the images, backing up the images, whatever. I just love it for that. And then my tripod, I'd have to just send you a picture of it, but it's basically like a cell phone tripod. Like it's got the pinchy squeezy thing that you set your phone in and it goes, you know, and then you can turn it like this either way and up and down. So I've got that. I have a couple different ones for that. But I do also have an iPhone. I have the iPhone 13 Pro. So I bought the flagship in both. It's a business write-off, guys. Please don't ever, if you own a bridal sewing business, do not ever buy your own phone. Your business buys your phone. Just so you know that is clearly, at least where I'm at, that is clearly a write-off. So check, if you've been buying your own phone, check with your accountant and see if you can write that off. So I buy my phones and I also literally like file them away. So like when one is, you know, met the end of its life, I get a new phone, but I keep that old phone and I have them in order because people will come out of the woodwork years later and I've got to have a text history and stuff. So, I did need two phones for my business. So I just, because of compatibility issues, I went ahead and got the Samsung S22, which I love. I've always had the Note series. I prefer it for my job because I can like take a picture of the bride and sketch on her, and then send her the picture of what we're planning on doing. The S Pen is just unparalleled. There's nothing like it. So I want that for that. But then there's like compatibility issues. So I wanted to have the iPhone for that, and FaceTime and stuff like that. So I got the iPhone and kind of used both of them. And I have found that the iPhone is a significantly better and surprisingly different experience for social media and Instagram than the Android phones are. That surprised me. I've heard so many people be like, people who have iPhones be like, oh, I can't stand Android. How do you use that? Whatever. And I never really had a problem with it. But then now that I have both, when I use the iPhone, okay, for instance, I can't hardly imagine making a reel on my S22, my Samsung. It's a nightmare. It's a mess. But if I were to make a reel, I would use the iPhone. It would be really easy. Like the whole interface, the whole experience is different. So it's weird. Phones are so weird. Technology issues with phones are so stinking weird. So yeah, that's what I use. When I use like my big camera, I shoot mirrorless. It's the camera, the Canon R series mirrorless is what I use, and I usually shoot with like a 16 millimeter or 50 millimeter lens length for those. So that's that question. And then, okay, hemming platform question that somebody was asking. They said, I think their relative was giving them a hemming platform, and they're saying, like, how do you use it? Do you use it? All that. At the virtual retreat and in upcoming e-courses, I'm actually going to demo how I mark and cut on the clients. So you'll actually be able to see it. Right now, I don't have anything like that. Um, but I can say I don't use a hemming platform anymore. I used one for years, and I can see why some people would really like to use a hemming platform, particularly if it's like mobility issues, if you have issues like with your knees, back issues, whatever, where if it allows you to continue to work or work more than you could without, and just elevates the bride so that you can work easier, I'm all for it. Rock on. The reason why I stopped using the hemming platform was, I'm perfectly comfortable crawling around the floor. I always joke and say I have like toddler knees. Like it's like I don't have kneecaps. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. But the risk of the bride getting swoony and falling off the platform, it's just too much for me. Like it just stresses me out. So, and I do kind of have that happen from time to time. So to keep them from passing out, I do like to have like a window unit blowing cool air on them. That has been a game changer. That has really reduced the number of brides that get swoony for me. And then I also found when they were on the hemming platform, they have a harder time looking straight ahead and not looking down. Because I don't know if they're afraid they're going to get dizzy, and so they look down more. But I have an easier time getting the brides to look straight ahead when they're on the floor. So that's my feelings for the hemming platform. You've got to weigh it out for your needs and also safety issues. When I had a hemming platform, I made sure it was like pushed into a corner, so that they kind of had a wall on each side to stabilize themselves if they did get a little swoony. And I know that's different because a lot of people like more of like I see real common like a pedestal, kind of more in a central location in the floor with the three-way mirrors around them and stuff. I feel like that's most effective in the sales situation, where you want the bride to be able to see the full length of the gown on display, regardless of her height. I feel like that's more appropriate. I just feel like that's kind of dangerous when you're cutting their hem. So I'm just cutting roughly an inch off here. The next layer up, I'm going to cut the same, and then I'm going to leave the top 2 layers, and I'm going to cut them while she stands in the dress. So they will be very precise. So that's cool. And yes, I'm definitely waiting to sew that waistband back on for her. Let me look at the time. We're almost at an hour. Let's see. On daughter's gown, I used an iridescent fabric overlay. Wasn't sturdy enough to hold the seams. I had to cover it with shimmer fabric, but it has no stretch, and now I cannot zip the dress on her. Oh my goodness, V-Sun, I'm picturing that exact situation. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I don't know. When the fabric is wrong, you almost have to kind of take it apart and redo. I hate to say that. But yeah, exactly. If you're going to, you could fix it just by growing up a size with the corset. You could do that if you like the fabric. Yep. All right. Oh, Stacy, I've had that happen too. 2 brides with the exact same name. Yep. I definitely have had that. Oh, Barb, that's sweet. I do remember anyone that can do yourself a favor and do a retreat. It made such a difference in my life and gave me confidence to make my business a success. Thank you, Barb. Jacqueline, so you just got the S22. That's awesome. I feel like, to boil it down, I feel like the iPhones are more, I think they're more suited for like your social media work, social stuff. And then I feel like the Samsung, like the S22, that's more, it's more business. I just get more like businessy stuff done, like the sketching and, whatnot. I just like the processors and, all that. So it just depends on what your priority is for your phone. Anybody else who's here with me? Got 26 people. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know there's a lot going on in the world, so I appreciate you spending time. If you could just take a second and hit that thumbs up for me. There's only 15 right now. Let's get that number up high. Hit that thumbs up for me, and that will help push this out to our other BST besties that did not get to join us today. So, oh, V-Sun, scary. You're redoing the corset. Good luck, girl. Good luck with that. You've got this. And then Angie, you're welcome. All of us has got to get back to work. Have a beautiful day. Give me a thumbs up. We will see you next Thursday. And I do hope to release a new video in my series, hopefully within this week. So we'll talk to you soon. Bye.